Hello, lovely people.
I'm sorry, I just saw that photo.
Yeah, you saw that as well, yeah?
That's mad.
Sorry, Carl.
No. I thought that would get you guys to be
It
honest.
suits him, though. It looks.
Hey, guys, we have to play the long ball, guys. We have to play like Aloka City back in the day with Shaqiri, with Boyan.
You know
We
what?
have to play the long ball.
For anyone watching, they're probably just thinking, what are these lot laughing at? I'll upload the picture just to give a bit of context, or else people are going to think we're just nuts.
That's hilarious.
People, welcome to the show. Welcome to Combat Catch Up with the two legends, Luke and Jamie. You know how it goes by now, people. Make sure you click the links in the description and go and subscribe to both of their channels, doing some fantastic work and amazing things as always. Boys, how you doing this evening?
This evening. Yeah, good, man. Doing good.
Perfect. Couldn't get much better.
Can't get much better at the moment, can it? It's not too bad. It's
been a great couple of weeks.
It has been. We can't complain, man. We can't complain. I just feel very fortunate at the moment. What can I say? Very fortunate at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, he definitely
been a formidable start. Yeah, it's been a formidable start. What can I say?
Yeah.
But yes, for anyone watching, this is the picture I sent to Luke and Jamie, and this is why we were all laughing at the beginning of the stream. Whoever done that is a Photoshop genius, by the way,
because it's perfect. Everything fits.
That is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, guys, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button as well. Going to be speaking about a few topics, the first of which is a very serious topic, so we're not going to make light of it, but we're also not going to go too deep into it because we don't know the ins and outs. If you do want to find out more information on it, I would recommend going and having a look online, because I want to read out parts of the case only because of I don't know how YouTube will react to it, and exactly. I don't know how true it is as well. I'm going to start with the notorious Conor McGregor. And look, he was meant to make his return to the octagon this year against Michael Chandler, pulled out because he broke his toe. I know a lot of people clowned him for it. I didn't have an issue with him pulling out the fight with a broken toe. I mean, Bilal Muhammad just pulled out because he's got a bone infection in his foot.
Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah. But again, it was a toe. Like, for me, fighters should try and get into the octagon as close to 100% as possible. So I don't have an issue with that. However, what I do have an issue with potentially is what he's been accused of. And for anyone who doesn't know, he's been accused of the R word and also assault as well to a woman. And some of the details of the case are coming out, and it's grotesque to say the least. And this isn't something that's recent, if I'm not mistaken. This happened about 6 years ago, and it's only really sort of being spoken about now. I want to speak about it in a UFC sense, though, because obviously he's not booked for a fight. They didn't rebook the Chandler fight. Also, the fact that this trial was kind of kept under wraps as well until it actually started. Do you guys think that's the reason why he hasn't been offered another fight, because the UFC literally are waiting to see what happens with this case?
It has to be.
I mean,
you can't have him active when this is going on.
Yeah.
You just can't. I actually think this is the reason it got cancelled. I don't think it's got anything to do with the toe.
Interesting.
I think this is the reason it got cancelled. You can't have that published. And I think the reason it's got cancelled is because Dana White is close to Donald Trump, who was going for electoral presidency at the time. And it was the time when they were doing debates and stuff like that. And I think that would have looked bad on everyone. And that's the reason I think they made sure Conor didn't have that fight. Because Conor's never pulled out of a fight. Conor fought with a torn knee against Mendes. Yeah, his knee was torn to bits. He shouldn't have fought. And he had that fight. So he went out of this fight. He didn't fight Chandler because of a little toe.
Right. I mean, you're right as well. If I'm not mistaken, when I was watching the Conor McGregor documentary on Netflix, he didn't pull out the fight with Khabib, and he had broken a couple of toes as well.
Yeah.
Also, he fought Dustin Poirier with a hairline fracture in his leg before it obviously was.
And then it got worse when he kicked it. Yeah. So I think because of the Trump stuff, where Dana White is like a strong Republican and he's endorsed Donald, and they were doing the debates at the time for this. We obviously know Donald won, but if you got McGregor who's accused of this fighting and you got the bloke who's promoting him as endorsed the person who could be president, I think that's a dodgy route, and that's why I think the fight was cancelled.
Luke, obviously Conor McGregor being the biggest star in UFC history, how much of a stain is this potentially on the organization? The fact that this isn't something that's recent, and I'll be honest, it would be almost impossible for the powers that be not to know about this. The fact that he would have still been active around this time and actively promoted, etc. Do you think this potentially could have massive implications on the UFC should things go sideways for Conor McGregor?
It is such a sensitive subject. You have that big of an impact. Did it have an impact when John Jones was doing his?
It's funny you said, I was just about to speak on that and saying that
but
two
McGregor is
promoted,
the biggest star than John Jones. What he has been accused of, I'd say, has been a lot worse than what John Jones has probably ever done put together. What McGregor's been accused of.
Yeah. My goat.
Would it put a stain on the sport? It probably put a stain on his legacy.
Jamie, I don't know where I'm convinced Dana White. I'm convinced Dana White contacted you and says, "Look, I'm gonna need you on side there."
I said it so silently. I was letting Cal just. Sorry, Luke.
I don't think it'd be a stain on the UFC. I think it'd be more of a stain on his legacy. If he is found guilty, I think this is more of a stain on his legacy rather than the company as a whole. And I do agree with Jamie. It especially look, we've been keeping up to date about the presidential election. Dana making a speech as well. Dana very much heavily involved. To have McGregor fighting around the time they're doing debates is not a good look, and it probably was a business move to basically pull him out of the fight. And we always said, "Oh, look, it's contracts. Why McGregor's not fighting? Got 2 fights left. He wants to get out so he can start fighting." Now this has come to light. Now everything for me is starting to go. Now we can see why the UFC have put you on ice, because they want to make sure that whatever's legal issues have passed. And for the UFC sake, they're probably thinking that he needs to be innocent, because if he's not, then McGregor shouldn't be fighting again in the UFC, because he'll be in jail.
Yeah,
well, I would. If I'm UFC, I'd rip out his contract, innocent or guilty.
That's another thing. Obviously, TV deal, etc. We all suspected that he's being put on ice because of the TV deal. Even if he is found innocent here, do you think he will fight again with this looming over him potentially? Because
it's too much shit, and it's the same even with John Jones. It's too much shit. It's too much baggage. He has got away with a lot. Both of them have got away with a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say,
they both got away with a lot. I mean, he ruined careers in that bus incident.
Yeah.
Yes.
He ruined careers. Rose still has nightmares. I mean, she got picked up by a grown man from school, but she's having nightmares about that. And he just that's cool. It's great promotion. That's all Dana said about it. It's great promotion.
Yeah,
it done quality money for us. We thank Conor for it. Yeah, we thank Conor for throwing things at a bus and ruining people's careers.
Yeah. They said the same thing about Colby, mentioned stuff about Leon's dad.
This is what I was just about to say. Does there have to be a tipping point whereby talent and pay-per-view buys and money has to come secondary to some of the actions that is happening? Because as you said, the Colby situation, Jones, McGregor, you're speaking of Colby's a bit of an anomaly because he's not a massive pay-per-view draw and he's not the most talented fighter. Jones and McGregor, they are box office fighters. Two of the most talented fighters we've ever seen in the cage. But there's got to be a cutoff point. Like, how many things are people going to do before it's like, no, enough's enough. We get that you're famous and all this, but you just can't do this, man. Because it sets a bad precedent. Because, look, Jones has done what he's done. Let's say, I don't know, I don't want to use a fighter's name, but let's say number 15 ranked in the middleweight division does something what these guys
he's cut. He's cut straight away.
But where's the consistency?
That's the problem, though. It's not in just sport; it's in life in general.
I know, yeah.
If you're popular, famous, and rich, and you bring in money, then they find excuses to keep you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, what this has happened? Oh well, I did not see this.
But if you're not as qualified and you don't bring in that money, and you're not as rich or anything like that, you're not as popular. You can eat like if someone was ranked 15 or 12 in the UFC and they were done what John Jones has done in his history, it'd have been cut within weeks. They wouldn't want that person hanging around, And look, we've seen UFC cut people for nothing.
Yeah,
I know, like the UFC have cut people. I think they cut. I can't remember which fighter it was.
I think it was Lewis
cut
Pena.
over domestic abuse.
Was it Lewis Pena?
Pardon?
I think it was Lewis Pena.
No, I think there was another fighter more recently that was. Oh, who was the guy that fought? Oh, freaking Dominic Cruz. Oh, I'll find it quickly because he got cut recently. I'll just find that out quickly.
Yeah, for domestic abuse, wasn't it?
Yeah, I try and find out who it was.
And because he's not a draw, and like Luke said, he can't even remember his name. That's why he got cut.
Yeah, Lewis Pena is another one. He got found guilty and then acquitted upon appeal, but he got cut by UFC as well.
Yeah, and John Jones has been found guilty many times. Shit, he's still got a job.
Casey Kenny
got a job actively promoted.
Yeah,
Casey Kenny.
Casey Kenny as well.
Yeah.
Got cut. And rightly so, by the way, because what he did.
Of course,
definitely.
But it's the precedent because if you're Casey, you're going, well, I've done what I've done, but it's not as bad as what these two have done, and these two are getting paid millions and actively promoted and getting glazed by the owner of the UFC, or the president of the UFC. It's just bad precedent, man. It really is. Look, I don't know how long this trial is going to go on for. I don't know what's going to be the outcome, but either way, look, I think another message here is the people in and around Conor and Conor himself. Conor needs to get clean, like fully clean, and the people in and around Conor, someone needs to have the cojones to step up and be like, look, enough's enough.
Yeah,
I think change your actions.
With people like Conor, the only way they change is if they have a near fatal accident.
Yeah,
that's the only way they look at it.
I'll be honest.
Going to change.
If someone's got to be in his circle that should be able to get through to him.
Guys, did you see what he did the other day? It's so disrespectful. At Bare Knuckle. Yeah. When he poured the beer, didn't he? Shared it with the bloke who knocked out the geezer, but then he went like that and he went, oh shit, because the other geezer was having oxygen and weren't still up yet. And it was like he went, oh, I fucked up. Because he's celebrating like a madman. You know what Conor's like, because his guys knocked the other geezer out. And he's poured the stout and they're sharing it and they're downing it. And then the other geezer's sitting there on oxygen and still not recovered yet. And he's gone, ah, shit. Like that was so disrespectful. Man's off his nut.
Yeah. It's that like the having money is the best thing and the worst thing that's happened to him. Having money is obviously giving him financial freedom, allowed his family to live a beautiful life. And like, look, I'm happy for anyone who achieves that. Something we all strive for, to be honest. But it's really turned him into another person as well.
Cheats on his wife in front of her.
Yeah.
it's mad.
Bro.
I don't think Conor's ever going to change. I think the only way Conor changes is something drastically happens to him. Like a life friend.
I don't want to see that happen.
Neither do I, but I think that's the only way he changes. Literally.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
He's going to catch up with him one day. That's the problem.
Indeed. Right, let's move on to more fighting topics. Belal Muhammad, as we spoke about earlier, pulled out of his fight with Shavkat at UFC 310. A gruesome, horrible injury. You can see his foot, horrible situation. Just wish him a speedy recovery as well. Having a bone infection is no joke. It's not just his foot that he's going to be feeling. He's going to be feeling lethargic. He's going to just feel horrible probably the next few weeks. But Shavkat still wants to stay on the card, but there's no fight for him. Now, currently, in the welterweight division,
Usman, ain't
it? No, not confirmed. Buckley's fighting Gary. Burns is just coming off a loss. So these are the people in the top 6 currently. Covington, Madalena, Sean Brady, Kamaru Usman, and Leon Edwards. Who would you guys like to see Shavkat fight, and who do you think makes
None
the
of them.
most?
None of them.
Just you pretend to fall asleep.
That is dire, man. I think Usman will actually be the most entertaining fight.
I think stylistically, Usman's the worst fight for Shavkat.
Yeah, because Usman's also got knockout power, ain't he? And I think that would be the most exciting fight if you go to do it. That's the fight I want to see out of all of them contenders. Usman ain't fought for a while. You could argue he beat Thingy in his last fight.
Yeah.
So
Just
yeah,
on
that's
that
the
day,
one.
after what we saw Hamzat do to Whittaker, is it not wrong to say that
aging well?
Like Usman's actually gone up in people's estimation?
Yeah, definitely. I think Usman Shavkat's a good fight, man. I know I don't like a lot of grappling fights, but when it's at elite level, when it's
Shavkat's a finisher. Like
Shavkat can knock people out. Usman can knock people out.
Submit people as well. So
yeah, it's a good fight, man. I don't think UFC should be looking at anyone else. I think Usman wants it. I think he's just that guy. Give me anyone, I'll fight him. Yeah.
Plus,
I agree with you, by the way.
He did endorse Donald Trump, so he's definitely going to get the title shot.
I got to play devil's advocate, even though I agree with this Usman fight. Luke, can Usman get an interim title shot off the back of 3 losses in a row? Should he?
Yeah. Should he? No. Can he? Yes, because this is the UFC. This is Dana's world. We're just living in it. And yes, at the Hamzat loss, I completely agree. Like, look what Hamzat did to Whittaker. That loss, you know how we say, "Oh, this loss is aging badly," or "This loss is aging well." The Hamzat loss is aging like a fine wine, like a beautiful.
He took that fight on 10 days notice, by the way.
10 days notice.
At a way up.
For me, be a draw.
I thought it was a draw or Kamaru edged it.
So did
me,
I.
Personally. And plus, like, let's be honest, he only lost to Leon. You know, when he lost the belt, he was pretty much dominating the whole fight. Leon got the head kick, lost to Leon quite convincingly in London.
But even that, it was still a competitive fight. Even though he lost convincingly, it was still a competitive
fight. I will say I don't think he should have taken the automatic rematch.
Yeah, he should have given himself a little bit more of a
because the knockout was nasty.
Yeah.
Like I'm having a look. Like the only other guy that I can sort of make a case for is Jack Della Maddalena for me. But however, Sydney's coming in February.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know if he's still carrying an injury or not as well. No one kind of knows what's going on with JDM.
But an interim title shot with Usman sells. It looks better on the marquee. It does look better on the marquee. You know,
it does. Considering like it was supposed to be Bilal like headlining the card.
Bilal even got a boring injury. I mean, you know, it's nothing exciting about that man, is there?
I have to say, like, are you really gonna make Pantoja, Asakura headline your this is the UFC's last show on your 30-year anniversary. Are you ending it Asakura versus Pantoja? No, you're not.
Usman and Shavkat, that's the one.
I'll be honest, if Usman and Shavkat can't get made, they will find some way, shape, or form of getting Alex Pereira.
Did you see Pereira on Instagram leave the telephone sign next to you in his thing?
And then Ankalaev said that Pereira's too much of a pussy.
Yeah, I mean, Ankalaev says that, but
it's the reverse. He's too much pussy. You know what I mean? He's all the fanny. What are we doing here?
I get it, fight talk and all that. But there's got to be a point where fight talk becomes sensible, innit?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out there like if I'm trash talking Pereira, I'm not gonna go out there and like the guy's got pillow hands. If he touches me on the chin, I'm just gonna laugh it because I'm just lying. At that point. Guys, you saw that? Did you see the thing I put in the group the other day with when he's sparring and he touches the guy in the body and he crumbles,
kills him. He crumbles on the floor. It's just he's different. Look, he says his hands are still hurting after the fight, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
He does deserve a break. Like,
of course.
But the fact that he put the telephone emoji on his Instagram page tells me he's up for it.
He's probably thinking, if the money's right, if the money's right, then
They should pay whatever he wants. I don't care.
then
when it
yeah,
comes to
you probably
negotiation.
get
have
a
a blank
fight
check.
Ankalaev.
Yeah. If he fights for
tell
a
you
fourth time,
I've
this year,
currently got Ilia Topuria as my fighter of the year, men's fighter of the year.
I can hear it. Yeah.
If Alex Pereira was to fight in December and he beats Ankalaev, he might be fighter of the decade. Forget
It's done. Yeah, it's done.
He might be fighter of the decade.
Well, the way he might be looking at it is thinking, if I fight in December and I beat Ankalaev,
I'm definitely getting a heavyweight title shot next.
then I'm done. I'm done at a 205. I'm
Yeah.
done, and I move up
that
to
opened
heavyweight.
up the London card. Him and Aspinall in London in March.
As I said this
Woo!
Hello.
for the vacant title.
Oh man.
I think it might happen.
Oh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Pereira took no damage against Roundtree. Do you know how mad that is?
Yeah,
Damage.
well, he got a flash knockdown, but yeah, he didn't.
Didn't take no damage, man. The only damage to his own hands where he hit so hard.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll be real. Like if he beats Ankalaev, he would have cleaned out a division quicker than I've seen most people clean out a division.
Cleaned it out in 2 years, Cal, if he fights in December.
He would have if he beats Ankalaev, he would beat number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in the division.
And there's no one else left who's a test.
The only person I think there's 2 people that could make a run for it. If Krylov's able to break into the top 3, or if Carlos Olberg is able to as well.
They got to do it
Apart
quick.
From that.
But
I'm going to be real with you.
I
don't think those guys have a chance.
I'd take a Blachowicz rematch over Krylov or.
And I agree. I'm with Luke, but I think I think Alex Pereira now is struggling at the weight because he's getting older.
Yeah, true.
He just, I feel like if he's at, can you imagine Alex Pereira at 240?
It'd be scary.
He'd weigh more than Stipe did against Ngannou. Stipe weighed in about 236.
Yeah.
Because they just blow up a little bit, but still look lean at the same time.
Well, he wouldn't blow up. He would just tell his body to activate new muscles, wouldn't it?
And his power would go up as well.
Yeah.
Yes. It would.
And now, because he's at heavyweight, he put in more effort to knock you out. Because the heavyweight just take it more.
Yeah. He might not, instead of doing that, he might go.
Yeah, a little bit more force.
A9 says, what if Ankalaev beats Pereira? Then what?
Then Dana White's fuming.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't see anywhere in the world where Ankalaev beats Pereira.
Probably
Here's the thing, though. I'll be real with you. If Pereira loses to Ankalaev, I still think Pereira can go up and get an automatic title match at heavyweight.
Yeah, because he's a superstar.
It's not just that. I mean, the precedent's been set. Stipe is getting a title shot after 3 years out after a knockout loss.
And the heavyweight division needs him. Let's face it.
Yeah, like
Jamie, and
Ronda Rousey got a title shot after getting head kick knockout. Like,
I said to Carl and Jamie after we did the show today, Stipe Jones reminds me of Bisping when he handpicked Dan Henderson for his first title defense.
Yeah. The only thing, that one was a competitive fight. Stipe versus Jones ain't going to be competitive.
Did you see Stipe the other day in that interview?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he looked.
I love Stipe.
As fuck.
Stipe, but here's the thing: Stipe's not a man that kind of does false bravado. He genuinely believes he's going to beat John Jones.
He couldn't talk.
I hope so.
I'm here for it.
He looked like Joe Biden. He looked like Joe Biden in that interview.
He's not winning, man.
It looked terrible.
Don't disrespect Sleepy Joe like that.
Oh no, he looked terrible.
Sleepy Stipe, that's what I'm calling it. Sleepy Stipe.
It's such a shame.
I think Jones takes a takedown in the first 10 seconds, leaves him there and just beats him.
Yeah, I think he's ground and pound. He beats him by ground and pound or stops him by submission.
And then Aspinall gets in the ring because he's there, ain't he?
And then Jones just retires.
Oh, do you imagine if Aspinall gets in the cage for a face-off, but then Jones says, I'm done, I'm finished, and puts his gloves on the floor?
Aspinall said like he's ready to fight them both. Like he's ready.
I do want to... There is a little bit of me that wants to see Pereira against John Jones as well.
I think John Jones beats Pereira.
Shall I tell you why it's more intriguing than you think, Luke? the leg kicks from
Yeah,
from
that's
Pereira.
true. Because Pereira will leg kick Jones.
Jones struggled massively against Thiago Santos with leg kicks.
Guys, the stare off between Jones and Pereira.
I don't think Jones stares at him.
No, he can't. You can't look into that soul, man.
Yeah, everyone who looks. I'll be honest.
Arrow as well.
Yeah, it does the arrow. And then just start walking like that to John Jones.
Yeah, nah, forget that. I'll be honest with you. The moment, if I was finding out it's Pereira and I'm a challenger, the moment his music starts, I am turning my back to him and I'm not looking at him until the referee brings us to the center of the cage.
You think people would, but for some reason they don't.
Because they can't help it, bro.
It's a trance. It gets you in a trance.
You lock eyes with a lion, bro. You don't just start looking away, do you? Like, you locked in.
Roundtree's one of the hardest, scariest men in the world. He was giggling because he was nervous.
Yeah.
He got scared. He was like, what the fuck is this case?
Yeah, what is in front of me? What's this in front of me?
He's throwing bombs on him and he just kept coming forward.
Yeah, Yuri's known for being crazy, and Alex out crazied Yuri twice.
Yeah. Well, Yuri said he used his black magic, didn't he? Pereira used his black magic.
Do you know how mad or crazy someone's got to be for you to accuse them of using ancestral powers? No.
Even Izzy backed it up on the Rogan podcast, didn't he? When he said, yeah, he definitely does, man. They're saying he's not right.
It's crazy. Speaking of the recent UFC card, UFC Edmonton for a fight night was a very good affair. Blanchfield beat Rose Namajunas and looks like she will be getting a Alexa Grasso fight.
I love that. I love that win.
Yeah, she was good. She was
hey, Blanchfield's a cold-blooded for a reason.
Yeah, she's good, man. I hate Rose with a passion.
Yeah, I know you're not a Rose fan. But Brandon Moreno always also won. I'm trying to get my words out.
Great fight.
Boys, though, looking at the division, I mean, we talk about Pereira cleaning out a division. Pantoja is cleaning out a division as well. Like, he's lapping some of these guys. He's beaten Royval, beaten Moreno. Albazi just lost, so he can't get it. Tatsu Taira just lost, so he can't get the fight. He's fighting Asakura on his debut, which I think he wins. I mean, Brandon Moreno is ranked number 2. Who does Brandon fight next now? Because
the winner of the fight.
He prays Asakura wins.
If Asakura wins, but Asakura, he's not beating Pantoja, man.
I literally think that's the only fight of Brandon Moreno.
No,
is the winner.
No.
As he moves up.
I've got one. Henry Cejudo. We've got some beef to rerun. We got some stories.
Shout, Luke. I didn't think of that. That's a shout.
Ain't he retired, though?
No, Cejudo did actually speak about going back down to 125 as well.
Yeah,
which I think is crazy at this
up
stage.
135. Like, we've got some stories to retell.
God,
I'm not gonna lie, Luke. I didn't even have that on my list of fights.
No, neither did I.
That's a fight.
It probably makes sense, to be fair, but God,
it really does, Luke,
because it keeps Moreno busy, and you can go to you can spin it to Cejudo. Go, hey, look, you beat Brandon Moreno, you get a title shot.
Right.
Oh man, that's a dirty fight.
You can spin it that way, and I wouldn't be against it.
I think Moreno beats him, to be fair.
All right, if Moreno beats Cejudo, that's a big win for Moreno. But if Cejudo beats Moreno, that throws him back in the mix for 125 title shot as well.
What Pantoja versus Cejudo? Are you not telling me that for that moves you a little bit? Because that moves me a little.
It does.
Have they fought?
No.
Nope.
How have they not fought?
It's weird. Henry was at 125, but he wasn't there for stupidly long.
Didn't he just win the title and go up?
He won the title. He defended
He's never defended it. Did he defend it once?
TJ.
No, yeah, defended against the
TJ. He was taking EPOs, and then that was it. But yeah, do you know what, Luke? I'm up for that fight.
Yeah, Cejudo Pantoja is a big fight.
Yeah, I just want to stick with the women's division here. So obviously Blanchfield won, but she lost to Fiorot not too long ago, and it looks like Fiorot's next in line for a title shot. However, Valentina Phillips, aka Valentina Shevchenko, she did speak about saying that if she was offered the Wei Li fight, she wouldn't say no.
Do it. I just want to see the best
Hey,
fight, the best man. Do it.
I told you. This is one of my predictions. They're going to book this fight.
Why is
Do
it?
it.
Is that why Wei Li hasn't been booked in the fight? Do you reckon, guys?
It may be. Just do it.
Yeah,
Let's see the
I
best
think
fight, the
Tatiana
best.
Suarez is injured as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bum. So yeah, get the two fighters, the best in the world versus the best in the world. Just do it. That's what it's about.
Do you think that's bad to Fiorot though, considering she's on a winning run?
Hey, if Fiorot's a young buck, she can wait for a title opportunity. Valentina, she's sort of coming off that prime.
She's coming to the end of her career, isn't she? Yeah, she's coming to the end of her career.
Fight it out.
Let's have a fight, man. Her and Wei Li, yeah. And if she does the double, I'm just
leave. And if she wins, because for me, like, there's still potential for Valentina to keep an eye on. Because for me, like, I'm just wondering if there's a way that Valentina goes, hey, if you jump up and I beat you, and I can cut weight to 115, I want your belt. Which I don't think will happen. I don't think she can cut to 115.
I don't think she can.
Jacked. Yeah.
But
just get the best fight, the best. I think Valentina's coming to the end of her career, so I think she just wants the money fights. Give her the money fights.
Don't blame her, because let's be honest, like, £125 is looking dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of young blood there. Farrow, Blanchfield, Barber, Silver.
Yeah.
I think she beats Barber. I think the others will be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm her, just get the big money fights.
Yeah.
That's what we all want to see as well, ain't it?
Yeah,
Shevchenko. I'll be honest. If anyone deserves to just fight for money now, it's Shevchenko.
Well, Wei Li and Shevchenko is a fight.
It's pound for pound number one and pound for pound number two women.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Square enough. It makes sense. It makes money. It makes sense. And plus, like, if the opportunity arose for her to fight for the belt at £135, run it.
I was just going to say, does Fiorot even get the Valentina fight? Because if Valentina beats Wei Li, for example, if they fight, then she remains 125 champion. Could she then turn around to UFC and go, look, I just gave £115 champion a title shot. I want Juliana.
I want the winner of Harrison. But the thing is,
she won't take the Harrison fight. Harrison's too
Amanda Nunes basically saying, hey, I'm fighting Pena Harrison winner, please.
Yeah, she won't fight Nunes again because Nunes won't fight her again either.
No, the Nunes factor, I think, has ruined all that. So, look, but Pena and Valentina would be a very close fight.
Yeah, because Pena has lost to Valentina.
Be a very, very close fight.
Shall I tell you why I don't think it's out of the question, Jay, even though it could delay Nunes having a return? Because let's say Valentina went up and beat Nunes. Sorry, Valentina went up and beat Juliana. I think that would be her last fight. I think Valentina would retire after that.
Retired double champion.
Then to vacate the belt, and then you could do Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes for the vacant belt.
Yeah, because I don't know how many fights Shevchenko's got left, really. I think it's probably
2
a couple.
to 3 at tops.
And they're going to be all big fights. She ain't going to fight the young guns. There's no point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And let's be honest, there's lots of exciting talent at 125.
Yeah, when you get to a certain part of your career, you don't. Wei Li Shevchenko is a fight. That needs to happen.
Yeah.
The first quarter 2025, book it.
Yeah, there's not many great female fights you can put together right now, and that's a big one.
Indeed. If you haven't already, guys, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit the links in the description, and subscribe to Luke and Jamie's channels as well. Right, I want to have a little rant, boys, and I want to see whether you guys
rant away.
All right. Interim titles. I'm fed up with interim titles. I actually am at a point where I want interim titles scrapped, and I'll explain why. Tom Aspinall is currently the interim title holder, and he's had to defend his belt, and is still not getting a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Fighters are calling for interim title shots when active champions are fighting and are still asking for one. Case in point, Diego Lopez and Volk have asked for an interim title shot because Ilya's not going to fight them on short turnaround or short camp. That for me makes no sense because Ilya's active and he's not injured. You look at the situation at welterweight. Shavkat and Usman may fight for an interim title belt. Bilal Muhammad won the belt in July and was scheduled to fight and got a bone infection, which will heal up within maybe 6 weeks, and then he can start a camp maybe a month after that. John Jones has not fought in about 2 years almost, if I'm not mistaken, and is still the active champion and was never stripped and hasn't been stripped. The interim title is being used by fighters to try and get pay-per-view points, and it's being masked over saying that it's going to make the fight bigger. Not once in my life, and this might be different for others, have I sat there and gone, interim title fight versus champ fight, that makes the fight even bigger. I couldn't care less. When Izzy fought Robert Whittaker as the interim champion, I didn't sit there and go, this fight's huge now because Izzy's the interim title holder. I said, this fight's huge because Izzy's the second best in the division and Robert's the best in the division. Aspinall doesn't need an interim belt to have a massive fight with John Jones. People know he's the best heavyweight in the world right now, and they want to see him fight John Jones, whether he's interim champion or not. The interim belt is being used to gloss over what is happening. If fighters aren't being paid pay-per-view points, then they need to negotiate better, and the UFC need to change their policies. Also, if you are going to implement interim titles, you have to have a structure whereby it is fair to everyone and the rules are the same for everyone. You cannot pick and choose how you use it. I am absolutely fed up of the interim stuff. I want it gone. You either fight for the main belt or you don't. You are if you're number one contender, you're number one contender. In no other sport do you see the number one contender get a belt. They are just called the number one contender and then guaranteed a fight because they sign a
Boxing
contract.
Boxing
does. Yeah, but boxing
does.
I need the silver WBC.
Yeah, you get like
a
silver. But that's not necessarily interim. That's just that you got different grades.
They get interim.
Yeah, I suppose so in boxing.
They just
But
call them
like,
enough
even
name.
in WWE, you don't even get that.
I know how to do this. I know how to get all through this. You give every division in the UFC the BMF belt. So you have a number. So
you actually just stumped on one of my video ideas, Jay. But go for it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, go for it.
If you got, because Dana wants title matches on every pay-per-view. That's what he wants. That's why he does interim title shots,
and sometimes 2 on one.
So if your champion's not available and he's out injured, the number one contenders fight for the BMF title. The BMF title is its own title. It's not disguised as a world championship. So it gives something to fight over. So if you did something like that, then you got rid of all these interim titles, and then when the champion comes back, the BMF holder then fights the world champion when he's available. What UFC have made a massive mistake over in the last few years, and they continue to do this, is that when someone's an interim champion because someone's out for so long they have to be stripped, they don't fight the champion straight away, and that's the issue. So at this moment in time, they used to, and it wasn't a problem. But Aspinall is interim heavyweight champion. Yeah, he's got a belt. As soon as John Jones fights in 10 days' time, Aspinall is no longer interim champion. He's just Tom Aspinall.
Yeah,
and that's an issue. But if you had a BMF championship, Tom Aspinall is the BMF heavyweight champion, and John Jones is the UFC heavyweight champion. Then you put the title fights together and you fight. Then you have a unanimous weight division champion. That's it. If Dana wants to do it where there's always a belt on the line, do it that way instead of interim. That's the only thing I can think of. If you're not going to scrap it,
I've got another great way of doing it. Start having double title fights on cards if you want to get champions on every single card. Stop doing double title fights. Start doing like 2 championship fights on each card if you want to make sure you get champions on every single card. And scrap the BMF belt. Yeah, the BMF belt, it's had its fun. No more, please. No more. Because the BMF champs get knocked out every time they want to fight for an actual belt. So please no more. For me, Carl, completely agree. The interim belts need to be scrapped. You only get the interim belt if the champ is out injured long term. Only out long term. Like John Jones. Tom Aspinall, that situation. But then you have to make it in the contract that they are fighting the winner. If not, strip the champ.
Yeah.
But Dana won't do that but this is the thing. It's great ideas in practice. You've got to do this, got to do that. But Dana runs this shit. Dana does what Dana wants to do. It's like, let's be honest, if we wanted to make this fair, Dana would have done that. Stripped Jones off the belt, gave Tom Aspinall the full title, and then tell John Jones, when you come back, you get the first shot. Instead, we've got to have this whole malarkey where the interim champion is defending the belt, which is fucking ridiculous.
No, I agree. I think as well, if your fighter is out for more than a year, you should be stripped.
Yeah. But they can get a match when they return.
They get an automatic rematch. Like,
they get an automatic title fight when you come back. Yeah,
get an automatic fight. Like who was it that was out for ages and then got a title shot as soon as they got back?
Yuri got one. Jamal Hill got one.
Jamal Hill got one.
Yeah. You don't look. The interim stuff is terrible because it sounds awful as well. It's like you're a placeholder.
You are literally.
You're a placeholder, and a fighter being a placeholder is a bit disingenuous. Just give them the BMF. Just make a BMF belt for every division, and then they're the BMF whatever weight division champion. And when the world champion of that division comes back, the BMF holder automatically fights the world champion. Because in an interim title fight, if you lose your interim title, which that means the new interim champion gets the champion. It's such a weird.
You're making it feel
weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I just basically go. I think there's too many title fights. I've always said that as well. There's too many.
There's too many title fights on cards. It's like, look, if you're doing this because you've got a concern about. It's not enough title fights on, or you haven't got enough champions to fill the cards. Well, one, that's your fault for not promoting fighters. That, like, let's be honest, if Bilal can't fight and Shavkat's off the card and you've got to promote, it's now Asakura versus Pantoja, and you're like, oh, that doesn't sell. Well, whose fault is that? Doesn't sell. It's you, the promoter, for making it abundantly clear that the little guys don't matter. That is shit. You don't want to watch these fights. That's down to Dana. Why? Oh, when Amanda Nunes was headlining cards, her numbers were super low because Dana drummed it through that. Look, guys, I don't really want women here.
Yeah,
she'd never fight in the UFC. I love Amanda, but Amanda's just not my person. Didn't really give her the backing. Like you can definitely get all the champions. You can definitely get a title fight in every single card if you really wanted to. But I don't think the UFC wants to. They want to have double title fights on each card, is what I've noticed.
Well, there's effectively, sorry to cut you, Luke. There's 12 titles available in the UFC.
You could have
you could literally one. But obviously, fighters also want to fight more than once a year. So you can. I don't think having 2 title fights on a card is a problem. I think you can do it without interim or without the BMF. And even the BMF, like, look, you guys know how much I love Max. You guys know how much I love Max. But if we're gonna be real, I mean, the lineal BMF right now is actually Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
Like, let's break it down. Masvidal beat Nate. He becomes the original BMF. Masvidal got knocked out by Usman. It's not like he got wrestled out by Usman. He did the first time, but he got knocked out clean by Usman. Usman's now the BMF. And you know why I can call Usman a BMF? Because Usman fought everyone and beat everyone he fought apart from Leon and was beating people up. He wasn't just going out there and holding them on the ground and trying to just get through rounds. He was breaking Colby's jaw. He was beating up Gilbert Burns. Like, he was beating people up. Usman then got head kick knocked out by Leon. Then lost the rematch to Leon. And then Leon lost to Bilal Muhammad. So whether we like him or not, whether we think he's exciting or not, technically the lineal BMF is Bilal Muhammad. And then if we're going to go the other way, obviously Gaethje beat Poirier for the, let's call it the 155 BMF. Then Gaethje lost to Max. Max just got KO'd by Ilya. And I'll be real, Ilya's a BMF. Because it's not like his fighting style isn't exciting. It's not like his fighting style. He stood there in the middle of the cage in the first 5 seconds of the fight and pointed down to the cameras and said, Max, let's have it. And Max declined.
Yeah, he took the BMF title, didn't he? I don't even think that was on the line.
BMF. He's got to be BMF.
I didn't even know that was on the line.
No,
Well, it wasn't on the line. But here's the thing. Again, I'm saying this is one of Max's biggest fans. Can you genuinely sell Max being a BMF champion after the last image you saw of him was being laid out by Ilya?
No, and that's why having a BMF title for interim makes sense, because if the champion beats you, he gets both belts. If you beat the champion, you get both belts.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I have to disagree. Like, what's the one thing that we moan about AEW, WWE? There's too many belts. Makes it feel cheap.
Yeah, well, it's too many divisions.
I'm not gonna lie. The interim belt should be there for emergencies only. Not because, Bilal's out and I want an interim belt. No. Nobody, you're now co-main event, not main event, Shavkat.
I don't think you need title fights in every pay-per-view either.
No, I don't either. Unless there's a hot blood feud you want to put as your main event.
Doesn't need a title all the time.
Then you don't need a title. Like, let's say next year.
I disagree. Sorry to cut you, Luke. I'll let you finish. But Max and Gaethje could have headlined the main event, could have headlined the pay-per-view without the BMF title, in my opinion. And that wasn't a blood.
Yeah, everyone would want to see it.
I could say that Dustin's retirement fight, not going to happen. Colby Covington, you don't need a title for that. That's a blood feud. That's a main event right there.
All right, but to push back on that though, Luke, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway in his retirement fight for his last fight. I think that headlines a pay-per-view, but it doesn't. It's not a blood feud either. I think it depends on the person or the two fighters.
Yeah, well, let's face it. It's all down to the promotions promoting, ain't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That what's the biggest criticism that I have of Dana? Promoting the wrong people, not promoting the right people.
Look, sometimes they put great cards together and it works. But if you look at the majority of the last few years on a month-to-month basis, a lot of the cards just feel like they're stale. It feels stale. And then the odd month, you'll get a great card that has great action on it. And then some of the fighters you see on there that are the up-and-comers who are fighting really well, you never see again. It's just, the company's in a bit of a mess. It really is. It's in a massive mess.
Yeah. So, look, that's my little rant over. Sorry to end with a rant, but I had to get it off my chest because it's really been peeing me off. Like, and maybe because it's so close to the Jones-Stipe fight, and even that fight. Do you know what? I genuinely believe if that fight didn't have the heavyweight belt attached to it, I actually think more people would want to see it and more people would probably buy the event.
Yeah,
I think it's actually gone the other way where people are like, I'm not going to support this event because someone's done a disservice.
I've got a feeling that could be one of the lowest pay-per-view.
They'll inflate the numbers on that.
Yeah. I've got a thing though, before we go. I know we're 10 days away. I don't think it's going to be John Jones and Stipe in 10 days' time.
You think one of them pulls out the fight?
Yeah.
No, surely not. Not after all the glazing. Surely not.
I've just got this weird feeling in my head something's going to happen to Stipe in the next 10 days. I don't know what
I'm going to be honest with you. If Stipe pulls out the fight, Jones ain't fighting Aspinall, short nose.
Well, you'd have to. You'd have no choice. Well,
Dana would make him. Dana would have forced him.
The problem is the pay-per-view will be then cancelled, so there wouldn't be a main event.
I honestly think
it's MSG because it's MSG.
They'd probably bump up Chandler and Oliveira.
That's a terrible fight. No one wants to see.
Yeah, apparently there was rumors that fight.
No, Oliveira. So someone posted, I think it was Upfront MMA posted about it. And Oliveira was like, put like a thinking face, like, what's this? Like,
yeah, Chandler was on a debate show live last night. He was on.
He looks really like weight drawn, doesn't he?
Yeah, Michael Chandler was literally on a show last night because he was backing Trump, and I can't remember the geezer's name. I can't remember the geezer. He's got a massive YouTube channel, and he was literally in one that he was sitting next to Candace Owens, talking about Trump and the election last night, and he looks in shape. He looks great.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was talking about why the McGregor fight got cancelled. He's got Oliveira in 10 days, and he was looking forward to it. So yeah,
Hey,
I disagree though, Joe. I'm looking forward to that fight because I think the first fight was such a good fight for how it lasted. I want to know if Michael Chandler's going to make the same mistakes again, and if Oliveira's still got that lion in him as well.
I think Chandler wins by knockout.
He could do.
I think all Oliver dog walks him. It's not going to look pretty. Oh yeah, 3 years ago today, Pereira made his UFC debut.
3 years ago today, we had UFC. Was it 268? I think it was.
Oh yeah,
one of the greatest cards we've ever seen. In hindsight,
Pereira's only been about 3 years, and he's done all this already.
Hold on, did you just say that was Pereira's debut 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And he's done all this. He's done more than most legacy fighters in 3 years.
That's called goat shit, right there.
Fact.
Pereira could retire tomorrow, and he's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
That's mad. And Dana didn't want him. To Joe Rogan bugging him about him.
Not just that. He wasn't gonna come to the UFC until Izzy spoke about him.
Yeah. He's like, what is that little shit talking about me again, right?
I'll be honest with you. If I'm the light heavyweights and I'm the middleweights apart from Izzy, I would hate Adesanya right now. Because I just think to myself, do you know how life would be different if we didn't have to deal with this guy? You went and opened your mouth, and I'm getting knocked out because of it.
Yeah, it's mad when you watch the fight back when Izzy knocked Pereira out. It don't look natural.
Yeah,
it don't look real.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, because Pereira falls to the floor he goes.
It feels like Woody from Toy Story.
It's mad how he collapses, and then it's his last loss, obviously. Just destroyed it. And he destroys Izzy in the rematch.
Izzy and him won't fight again.
No, not at 205, especially.
Oh gosh, no. I love Izzy, but I don't want to see that fight.
Izzy hasn't got the reactions now to fight Pereira, especially at 205.
He hasn't got the size either. He'd be so undersized in that fight.
Izzy will just get walked down, man. It'd be horrible. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think that would go more than 2 rounds.
Nah, not at all. But look, we've got some boring fights coming up that we have to get out of the way with, and then hopefully it opens up.
UFC in the Apex, that's 100th Apex card. I will not be watching it this weekend. I know that we spoke about a gal. I will not be watching it this weekend.
I won't be watching it live.
What's the fight night this weekend?
Magny versus Magny main event.
Yeah. I'm actually out, but even if I wasn't out, I don't know. If I'm awake, I'd watch it, but I wouldn't go out my way to watch this card.
The only interesting fight on there is GM3 versus Rainier Derrida.
Yeah.
Dutch Knight making his UFC debut. That's the only interesting fight.
Put the fight nights on YouTube, Dana, for the love of Christ.
Yeah, facts, Jay. Do you know what? I hope someone somewhere saw when you had that epiphany idea.
I don't think Dana realised how much money you make off advertisement just putting it on YouTube.
Yeah, facts.
Probably make more.
But I think the problem is they're in a deal with ESPN where they've got to put a certain amount of fights or cards a year, and that's what the issue is. So they're watering down the cards to make it happen.
Oh, it's terrible.
Pantoja said that he'd consider moving up to bantamweight if Figueiredo became champion.
Yeah, because he knows he's the same size as him effectively.
Yeah.
Pantoja's just a pimp.
He knows he's got it easy at 125, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a guy there. Well, boys, that's another combat catch up in the books. Do tell the people where they can find and support you, please, boys. Luke, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Luke Tanner. Content's been a bit slow recently, but I'm going to try my best to do. I think a few more like pre-uploads. I've got quite a few things that I'm maybe looking at doing. Maybe touched on Max Holloway going up to 55. Conor Ben, that little cheat is now cleared apparently, which is absolute bollocks. So may have to touch on that and many more things.
Love it, love it. Jay, what about yourself, bro?
Yeah, I'll probably be doing a show sometime tomorrow, and then I'm on Dan Potts' channel at 4 p.m.
Big up, Dan. Love that guy.
Yeah,
Absolute
superstar.
legend.
But yeah, you've got a lot of talk about. Transfer rumours are hotting up now.
Just to answer this question, shout out to Adam. Cal, UFC or Liverpool? Who do you love more? It's Liverpool. It's Liverpool.
Jesus, it's not even there.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's always Liverpool. Like, I love UFC. I love combat sports. I love boxing, but Liverpool, man. When it comes to sport, it's my first love.
Liverpool have a pussy, man.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, bro.
Yeah, it's for me. I've had enough. Enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one. That's a different combo. I don't know.
When you're swimming in it, you've had enough. You know what I mean?
Say clicking the fingers is just there, like, oh,
yeah, not again.
Not again. Nah. But it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Extremely grateful to you both as well. I'm trying to think what we today. Wednesday. I'll be back on the Sanderson Show on Friday.
Yeah, it's mad. It's
I'll have a
Thursday
break
tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's mad. It's Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to be about on the Sanderson Show tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday. So make sure you switch the notification bell if you haven't. On the road to 3,000 subscribers as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. And then, as always, boys, a real pleasure. Thank you so much. Before we go, please make sure you subscribe to the Sanderson Show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Take care.